Hi, my name is Robert. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. In this video, I want to share with you a few basic or minor things you can do to restore or even improve the performance of your vehicle, and specifically your Volvo T5 vehicles. So let's get started. One thing you could do is give the car a stage 0 tune-up. Basically what you want to do is bring all of the original equipment that came in the car and bring it up to new standards. So if you have not done a spark plug change in a while, a basic tune-up, go ahead, replace your spark plugs. If your spark plugs wires have more than 100,000 miles on them or are older than 10 years old, you may want to replace your spark plug wires. If you have a distributor, replace your distributor cap if it has more than 100,000 miles on them. And check all of your vacuum tube, your turbo pressure tubes, all those kind of things, and make sure those things have been replaced and brought up to like new condition is what you're looking for. So you don't want any old, cracked, deteriorated vacuum lines on your turbo tubing. You don't want any old deteriorated electrical wires going to your sensors or any frayed or broken wires. You want to make sure you got a good fuel pump in the car. You want to make sure that your exhaust is not being clogged up, which happens when you have an engine that's smoking. Specifically, what that smoking is doing is pushing oil vapors down into your catalytic converter and clogging up your catalytic converter. So you want to stage 0 the performance of the car so that it's in like new condition. Another not so expensive kind of minor thing you can do is install what is called a RIP kit, reverse intercooler piping. And around 94, when Volvo started shipping these cars to the US, they initially had this kind of piping, and because they were having issues with throttle bodies freezing up, they reversed this piping and they changed to a hose that came up, it takes a turn, it goes down to the bottom of the intercooler, then it comes out the top of the intercooler and then into the throttle body. That system, if you're in a warm climate, is not as efficient as this system. So if you get a RIP kit, it will reduce some of your turbo lag. Maybe because you have less rubber tubing in there, it'll stop the loss of turbo pressure in that tubing expanding and make the car more responsive. You may want to upgrade to a RIP kit. Average price on a RIP kit is probably $250. A thing you may want to do is install a larger downpipe. As you can see here, my car has a straight flange and it has a 3-inch downpipe. A 3-inch downpipe allows more of the hot turbo air to get away from that turbo. Hot exhaust gases on the back of that turbo, bottled up on the back of it, usually causes that turbo to get what's called heat sink. That will slow the speed of the turbo down and cause your boost pressure to drop. On my black car here, I was having problems with the car building and maintaining boost, and I had two things going on there. One, I had a smaller aftermarket catalytic converter that was causing my exhaust to slow down the flow. Number two, I had the stock downpipe on there. Once I replaced that downpipe and put another serviceable Volvo cat on the car, I was able to boost and maintain 10.5 psi boost pressure. As before, I was able to boost to about 10 and it quickly dropped down to 8 or 7.5 psi. So to restore that stock pressure that comes from the manufacturer, I installed a larger downpipe. this downpipe here may be 2.5 inches. The downpipe above it is the 3-inch downpipe. This one here is a conical flange. In 96 they switched to a straight flange. 96, 97, and 98 had the straight flange. So if you have a straight flange and you want to make a minor improvement on your turbo boost and the vehicle's ability to hold that boost pressure longer, switch to the 3-inch straight flange downpipe. Larger pipe, you can see the differences there. That pipe will allow the heat to escape from the back of the turbo. On this small downpipe here, the heat starts backing up and it gets to the back of that turbo. On that 3-inch downpipe, it's a lot harder for that to happen. You could usually find those downpipes new or used anywhere from $100 all the way up to about $300. Something that I recommend people do anytime they replace or rebuild your cylinder head is replace the exhaust manifold. Right there, I have replaced the exhaust manifold from my Volvo from the stock turbo manifold to what is called an R manifold. That R manifold is the same manifold that's on the S60R from 2004 to 2007. That R manifold is also found on a lot of your 5-cylinder Volvos built from 2004 to 2007 or 2008. There's also a manifold that is as efficient as that one and gives a little bit different sound. It's called a Japanifold. That's found on a few of your T5 cars from 2001 up to about 2004. If you're going to be rebuilding your cylinder head, try to get a hold to an exhaust manifold that has a better flow pattern than your stock turbo manifold. Again, some people call them an R exhaust manifold. There are some that are Japanifolds, and they will normally cost anywhere from $50 to $125. That's an upgrade you want to do, especially if you're planning to do a cylinder head rebuild or replacement. Another performance improvement that you may want to do, especially if you're rebuilding the cylinder head, is replace the stock cams that are in there with NA cams. NA cams will open up the valves a little bit wider and they will hold them open a little bit longer. If you install non-turbo cams in your T5 engine and adjust the timing a little bit to benefit from that longer duration and wider opening, you will change the torque curve in your performance and also increase the horsepower output a little bit more. People have done dyno runs. They claim that alone can add 11 horsepower to the performance of your car. So if you're going to be taking the cam cover off of that head to either do a cylinder head replacement or to rebuild the cylinder head, to change the valve stem seals or whatever, you may want to consider getting NA cams out of a non-turbo car. Those are normally found in the Volvo 850 vehicles from 1993 all the way through 1998 or 1999. They're NA cams. They will increase your horsepower by 11 horsepower, and also when timed properly, they can change your torque curve to give your car a different acceleration characteristics when you're going from a standstill up to highway speeds. The number one thing you may want to consider doing to get some performance improvements out of your car, and this is after you've brought the car to stage 0, because if your car is not a stage 0, many things you do to the car would not make it perform any better, won't make it any faster. However, one thing that Volvo did, different from your regular turbo 850 to your R series 850s. In 1995, Volvo changed the computer programming in the ECU, and they added 18 horsepower. So you have a computer right here in your car. If you want to make a minor improvement, when Volvo had the plain turbo cars, those cars produced 222 horsepower, but the R series cars in the US produced 240 horsepower. So just by swapping that computer out and putting a R programmed computer in your car, you can increase the horsepower of your car from 220 horsepower to 240 horsepower. One of my friends named Joe, you guys may have seen him in one of my other videos, he actually purchased a computer out of an R series car, put it in his stock turbo car, and he was pleasantly surprised about how much more performance he got out of just from replacing that computer. That different computer programming and 18 horsepower may not sound like much, but it was enough for Volvo to consider the car a whole different class of performance. And I believe your insurance company probably has different insurance rates for your R performance cars versus your non-R cars. Now there's a couple different levels of that computer programming. Number one, you can just get the one that Volvo already programmed for an R. Now, if you have a 95 850 and the car has EGR, you probably want to get a 95R computer. That way, you don't have any emissions codes when you swap that computer. An example, I have two of those computers with automatic transmission programming in them because I have, as you see, replaced my computer in Queen Bee with an ARD tuning computer, and I've replaced the computer in Panther with one that has vast custom tuning on it. So number one, you can get a stock R computer. I've seen them priced anywhere from $50, normally up to $150 shipped. You can do that at 18 horsepower, no other improvements to the car. Just make sure the car stays zero and you're good to go. The car will be a faster, better performing car. The second option you have to just a quick computer swap is buying a stage 1 tuning computer from a company like IPD. Theirs is a lot more expensive. Theirs normally start at around $695. They supposedly have a variation of performance. If your car is stocked, it still has the stocked downpipe, the stock exhaust manifold, the stock intercooler, things like that. From that stage 1 program computer, you may see 25 to 30 horsepower gain with installing an IPD computer. However, if you have performance upgrades like a larger downpipe, a better exhaust manifold, a better intercooler system, some improvement in your intake ducting, maybe a different wastegate actuator, you may see as much as a 60 horsepower gain with just changing that computer. So you can get a Volvo stock computer that was programmed for an R car, preferably get the same year as the vehicle you have so you don't have emission codes, or you can get a stage 1 tune from a company like IPD. The IPD stage 1 programmed computer will vary with the performance increases you'll experience depending on the equipment on the car, or you can get a custom tune from a person that's experienced with tuning these cars from a company called Vast or something along that lines. There's not too many options out there for these older cars right now, but there are a couple of good options. So there you have it. Those are some simple, easy performance upgrades that you could do to your Volvo 850 T5 car and some other vehicles that you may have in your possession. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.